Good morning. Welcome. Inviting you to expanding everything. That's my words for kicking off this morning. As in the silence, as something came up, landed on it. So, how can I expand that rather than labor on it, rather than worry on it, rather than stir it up, stew on it? So expand it. The focus was on expanding. That's my intention, my purpose, my word for the day, expanding everything. Welcome. Now I choose to expand the desires of my heart. I choose to expand my health and vitality. Expanding my love. and expanding creations. Thank you for the space.
Thank you for speaking to that, Jessie. That really expanded something for me. So my choice as I went to bed last night was to listen to the heartbeats of the universe for the day, at least, and to see if I could start doing that more and more. And specifically because I was thinking about how else I could, or what, not that it had to be different, but just perhaps different languaging for myself and for whoever else could benefit from that in terms of working with resistance. And that felt like a bit of a kind of a shortcut for me, if I could remember to do that. It's just the different languaging, because usually it's, just bring yourself into the now and see things for how they are. Don't elevate them, don't denigrate them. And hearing your choice this morning was really nice. It amplified all of that for me. I unfortunately need to leave. I hope to join again this morning, but I've got to run an errand. Thank you so much for the space. I'll take it with me this morning and hope to rejoin later.
Thanks, Allison.
Thank you, Allison. Big love.
Bye.
Yeah, I just got this. Stay open 24/7, day and night. Stay open day and night.
creating, intending, openness. It is a shortcut. It's a built-in structured shortcut. To zoom it in, to attach it, can be to align it with intentions. The many layers of intentions yet focused. Focused attention. Focused purpose. And brought up a question. Are we expanding into the known or the unknown? Oh, that's a tangled mess. Tangled mess for me. So I don't know.
I don't know is getting easier. Notice that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. I was thinking about it this time. I was like, oh, wait. That didn't have the effect as it normally does on that. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is cool because that means it's another layer, different layer.
Yeah. Yeah, like something else is cleared and made room for it. Like it's dissolving. Never laugh at you. I was laughing with you. So hilarious. Yeah. Maureen and I are out ogling the sunrise. It's been quite eventful today.
Expanding.
Yeah, exactly.
Open, expansion, open. The all's heartbeat. The all's desire. And in all of that, so just my little world, right? My little place, my little purpose. As we make it so big, so important. And it is, and it isn't. Controlled and uncontrolled.
Yeah, no one else is seeing this from our vantage point.
Focused and unfocused.
Yeah.
So it's our uniqueness, everyone's uniqueness. Expanding, expansion of. And we honor that. That's the equal. No right or wrong. There's an equal. There's no right, wrong, good, bad.
Yeah, that's the spirit of this space we've created.
Mm.
Like, what do you see?
Mm.
What do you hear?
Mm. And it matches and it doesn't match.
Yeah, yeah. Because I can't see what you hear, and or I can't see what you see, and I can't see what you hear.
Mm-hmm.
That's for you to share.
Mm-hmm. That's that makes it special.
Yeah. And then we can combine the vision, combine what we're hearing.
Combined and expand.
Yeah.
Okay. Mhm. Mhm.
Expansion unfolding, revealing itself.
Becoming the next moment, becoming the next, becoming
Yeah.
expansion, becoming.
Yeah, it's full of anticipation.
Open anticipation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Curious anticipation.
Yeah. I wonder what's coming. I wonder what's next.
Wonder what's becoming.
Yeah. Yeah.
What could be coming. Becoming. What could be coming. Becoming.
Thanks for letting me win at pool yesterday too.
Morning, Maureen. Does she have a word today?
Good morning, Maureen. Do you have a word today?
Good morning. Sunrise.
Yeah, love it. That's always expanding, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. We've been stopping every few minutes here on the sidewalk just to take it all in. Been quite amazing this morning.
It is becoming.
Yeah. And while it was dark, we saw a lot of meteors.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Yeah. Shooting stars like crazy. Yeah. I think next weekend is going to be the concentration of them.
Is it?
Yeah.
Those are, but that screech.
A lot of birds coming out here too right now.
It's a peach face lovebird. Peach face lovebird. That's the screech.
Peach-faced lovebird that screeches.
Him or her. It. Them. Hmm. Expanding our emotions, our feelings, our sensitivities. Expanding our intuition. Surrendering, having to know mind. Surrendering in order to expand.
Hmm.
Expanding serenity. Exploring the other side of fear. As our country, as our world, our communities. Gripped in fear. gripped in frustration. Fear and frustration cycle.
And a message of hope.
Yeah, expanding it, not just wait and see it, but expanding to be it, being it, the choice of it. Choosing it rather than waiting to see it, to validate it, to prove it.
Yeah.
I'll be satisfied when. It's filling in all those blanks.
Or to choose what we know, what we already know is coming.
And people might say, I don't know what's coming.
Yeah, but your heart does.
Everyone's heart does.
Yeah, yeah.
If they can expand beyond.
Yeah, that's
The
the power of
fear.
that true choice. That true choice, the choosing the desires of your heart, choosing to live there. And I noticed I've been saying that a lot the last few weeks, is I didn't know that's what my heart really desired. I didn't know that's what it was, but it showed up. That's what showed up. The deepest desires of my heart that I didn't really know have been showing up.
And what do you say when it does? Like walk with, like share with us the experience of what happens, how it happens for
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Well, I got to say that initially I'm dumbfounded because I really didn't know that's what my heart wanted. It's like, so it's kind of like a question mark. It's like, could this be what my heart desires? Could this person be what my heart desires? Could this situation be what my heart desires? Could this life energy be what my heart desires? And my mind's having difficulty reconciling that
Yes.
because it doesn't, my mind can't figure it out.
Can't attach it to its experiences or
Yeah,
to what it
yeah.
knows or what it's
Yeah.
been taught, trained.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, because it doesn't show up. It doesn't show up inside that space. It shows up in the heart space. And my mind can't comprehend it. There's nothing to reference it to. There's nothing.
There's nothing old in it.
Yeah. There's nothing to measure it against. Like it's new. It's
Becoming something new,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
expanding.
But I mean new. Like it's
Mhm. You said unfathomable, go right into the start of it.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Good morning, family.
Mhm. Hi, Pascal.
Good morning, Pascal. Brava.
Bonjour, bonjour,
Mon frère.
mon frère. Sure. Yeah, it was funny. Yesterday I
Expanding.
walked. Yeah. Yesterday I walked the dogs, and then two friends, I would say, they were riding their bicycle, and then like one was down the hill, one was up the hill, and he was like, "Hey, man, bro, it's so cool. Like I can leave my handlebar and go down the hill." Yeah, I was just like, "Hey, bro." Yeah, my wife was laughing so hard at a young age. They're calling bro.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, in the 70s, it was dude. Everybody was a dude.
Yeah,
Girls, dogs,
right.
elephants.
It came from that car. Dudes, where's my car?
Yeah.
Right?
Morning, good evening, Allie.
Good evening. How are you?
Expanding.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We were talking about, or I was sharing what it feels like, what the experience is like when the desires of your heart show up.
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah. So I was mentioning that I haven't been recognizing them right away.
Oh, okay.
Like you kind of think that your deepest desires, when they show up, you kind of know it right away, but that hasn't that it hasn't been like that. It's kind of like, oh wow, okay, this is here, is, you know, and so I go, is this really what my heart wants? You know, is this situation, is this person, is this experience what my heart really wants? So yeah, it's interesting. And then the experience, or whatever it is, expands to the point where, yeah, you start saying yes. I've started saying yes, and then embracing it. But there's kind of it's kind of tentative, the whole embracing it part. You know, I don't know if that's protective or what. Because I know my heart wants to surrender. My heart wants to surrender to what my heart desires. But it's unfamiliar to me to act that way, to respond that way. But it's getting easier.
Thank you, Craig. What triggered for me was when we think of our heart's desire, like it draws me to something big, grandiose, some end. Some destination, right? Some place to get to.
Yeah.
Which it all is, right? But it's like,
yeah,
the point is not what, it's not get to, it's getting there, like every moment a journey of getting there. But my mind, when I think of heart's desire, it goes to like already experiencing it all, like in this some grand moment.
Yeah. You think it's going to be a strike of lightning or something?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Which maybe like it does. Some of them are, right? Some of them hit in such a way. It's like,
there's
oh,
moments like that.
Very, very subtle. It's very, but it's like, oh, they're wow, that's amazing. And it flashes and it passes. Flashes and passes.
Yeah, it's been very incremental in my experience, like little bits and pieces at a time. And then every once in a while there's a kind of a larger energy movement, kind of a concentration of energy that comes through. But by and large, it's just a little piece at a time. You know, like
trickle.
Maureen keeps telling me, day by day. Day by day. Yeah.
Little trickle. Sometimes there's no trickle, and so that water builds up behind it, and then it's breaks through, and there's a big rush.
Yeah.
Expansion. Expanding.
Yeah. You know, and I know that eventually it will expand to the point where it is very large, like I envisioned it.
Mhm. Yeah,
But it's
I
not gonna,
believe
that's
so.
not gonna transpire overnight, right? It's just gonna unfold.
And then when we slow that down and look at it that way, it's like, oh, of course, it can only go like that.
Yeah, yeah,
It can't happen the other way. I'm expecting it to.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that it won't happen quickly. And for me, that keeps me in a constant state of anticipation. And you know, and to stop and see the value in what's revealed at this moment, in the next moment.
Appreciate. It's like appreciate both in gratitude and appreciate in compounding.
Yeah, 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 because it multiplies itself. You know, it's like putting a stick of chocolate in your mouth and just letting it melt instead of chewing it up madly. You know.
Enjoying it or devouring it. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
What's on Allie's mind this morning, this evening? My morning, your evening.
I think we lost her, Jesse.
Oh, did we? I knew we lost somebody.
Yeah.
We lose Pascal too.
No, Pascal's still here. Mon frère. Mon frère est ici.
Yeah, I just mute myself because the dogs they love barking in the morning. Well, one of them.
Just wants your attention.
What's my intention? My intention is like that they have fun.
Yeah, what I say, but must want your attention.
Mm.
I want you to take them for a walk so they can bark at things. Have some new scenery to bark at.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm at the park, right? So
Yeah.
it's the ball. It's the ball that they want. Yeah. Yeah, my word for today is radiating.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll have some of that, please.
Mm-hmm. I'll give you some of that.
I'm receiving some of that. Yeah.
What's radiating? What
It's
is
the
it
sun.
that's radiating? Yeah.
The sun.
Sun up there yet? Has it risen yet? There?
Oh yeah. 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 It's quite high. Not fairly high, but you know, half the park is lit up right now.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, just because of the trees. You know, I was watching it's so funny, like when you're so aligned, like everything just shows up, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
turn on the TV, and then, we're talking about heart desire and all this stuff. And I turn on the TV, and then like I go in Gaia, and so the show that was, like suggested to me, it was like the Gene Key. I mean, like, I'm like, of all the shows, like, first one that pops up, I'm like,
Mhm.
he's just talking about like, how it works and how you use it and blah blah blah. I'm like, my God, this is amazing. So he definitely pushed me at looking into this a lot more.
Mhm.
And it's not like, I didn't understand like the book too much. Like I was just like, okay, am I
Yeah.
supposed to read it cover to cover, or what's the deal here? Right? And then I start playing because I got the Audible, and then I start playing that, and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm gonna go through this. Right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of material, and unfortunately, like the voice from the Audible, I'm not a huge fan, so I fall asleep a lot on it. Or
Yeah.
I go in my head per se,
That's
right?
okay.
I cannot stay present with her. So, but then I think you told me that like, yeah, you go just with the well, you can do that, you can read the whole thing, but mostly like you go to your Gene Key, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, that's a lot better.
Yeah. Usually that's where the exploration starts. At least it did
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
And then and then I started exploring other ones too. And it's yeah. What's amazing to me is like all the stuff that's in it is actually there's linkages between things. Like there's some Gene Keys are related to other ones.
Yeah.
Like he mentions there's programming partners, and they're on the opposite side of the circle.
Oh.
So yeah. So when you get your profile and your prime gifts,
Yeah.
your life's work and your evolution are actually opposite to each other. So, and I've said this a number of times in this group too, but I'll clarify it here. What seems to be opposite are actually complementary. Like there's a tension between them.
Yeah.
And when you allow that tension to, to pull both ways and kind of do it, eventually the two get melded together, and they become a combined power, or a combined genius. Okay, so your
Right.
life's work is opposite your evolution, and then your radiance is opposite your purpose. And they're actually they actually make cross. Okay, so in astrology language would be that your life will be square your your purpose. And so there's a tension there. And there's also another kind of a tension. All those four things kind of hold going on within those four.
I know I'm losing what you're saying.
Using that word, but
Hmm.
they you know, they kind of describe your true nature, really.
Right. Yeah, no, that's why I found it interesting, because that's what I want to see. That's what I want to explore, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
and
So what I've
it's
been
not,
doing with most of you guys is, you know, I'll be picking your life's work, or I'll be picking your radiance, and I'll give you some hints as to what that might mean, like what the
All right.
energy of that might mean.
Yeah.
And then you, and then you contemplate that for a bit, and it's like, oh, okay, that's
Mhm.
interesting. You
Yeah,
know?
for sure. Yeah,
And
that's
then,
what
you know,
he
and
said
then it
too.
kind of confirms things that you've known about yourself all the time, but nobody ever pointed this out to you.
Yeah.
You know, like we haven't been taught to look at our lives in terms of energetics or what's going on big picture wise,
Yeah.
and how our energy interacts with other people, and with our emotions even, and all that kind of stuff that's going on.
Mhm. Until now.
Yep. But you know, you can overdose on this stuff too,
Oh yeah,
because
bet.
I've found, you know, so like we were saying, it's interesting that that in my experience, the desires of my heart have shown up incrementally. Like it's not like you get this blast of lightning, but it's like bits and pieces show up, you know, kind of one at a time. And in recode language, in the perfect order, in the perfect time, in the perfect way, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was thinking yesterday, like, you know, magnetic mind it's missing a part,
Yeah.
you know, and the part is like deconstructing the subconscious mind. Yeah, it says like, yeah, like what's your heart wants and all that, but if you have all this garbage like on top of it, then it's hard to discover that, because like most of the time, like you'll be what's your heart's want, you would think, then is based on the people that's around you, or so the environment, people, like all that stuff, right? So I feel like to me anyway, like, because when I look at like what I wanted when I was doing the course, and I'm like, what? That doesn't make sense to me at all.
What was I doing?
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
that's not really what I want, right? It's almost like what people tell me what I want, you know?
Yeah.
So,
See, that's why I'm really glad I met Jesse when I did, is because that was my frustration at the beginning too. And I think it was August or early September last year when I met Jesse, and we actually talked about this, because I said what concerns me. I said, you know, I like the 4 core choices. That's all great. And I said, and I've observed a lot of people making their own choices, which is a really good thing. You know, it's a good thing to know that you have sovereignty over your own choices. That's a key thing. But a lot of the choices that I was hearing people say,
yeah,
were, you know, they didn't ring true to me. They didn't feel right. And, you know, including my own, you know, I tried to make my own choices, or set my goals, or do whatever you want to call that, and do lenses, do that kind of stuff. And I just, because I was having difficulty finding a choice, like a one choice that was true to me.
Right.
And then in one of Jesse's sessions, I landed on that one about choosing the desires of my heart. And holy crow, did that land.
Because
You know,
I guarantee
I've still got that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. And that's how it's supposed to be.
It's true to me.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's a true choice for a lot of people.
Well, it might be.
Right.
But the point I'm making too is that it's really easy it's really easy to pick up, you know, your own true choices that are self-indulgent or aren't really true to your heart and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm wondering is missing is that whole thing about actually helping people discover their own true choices, you know, helping people discover what their heart really wants.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, instead of using this method and technology to be chasing things that you don't really want.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, it works for that too, you know.
Yeah, because I got told like I make my choice based on fear. So he was like, so how much fear are you gonna need to make good choices?
Well, yeah.
And then like it hit me like a rock. I was just like, I can't operate this way.
Yeah.
You know? That's not the right way. So
Well, and you realize it's not the correct way for you.
no.
Yeah. Because it's not in congruence. It's not in sync with your heart and your being or your soul even.
Because same thing, like I start doing the lenses and whatnot, and it was hard. Like I don't think it should be hard. Like if you really, you know, like if you have choices that you really, really want, then it shouldn't be hard. You know, you shouldn't be like sitting, be like, what should I do today? You know, like,
Yeah.
you know, it should come automatic.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like, oh, I gotta think about this, and then like, oh, what's the best thing I can do to move this business and stuff, and then you're like, do I really want a business? You know?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah.
You
Well, I
know?
know exactly about that.
So
Because I've been running business since the mid 70s, for heaven's sakes. And what I'm realizing is that, okay, I've been there, I've done that. I recognize that what's emerging with respect to me personally is it's not a business. It's something else. It's kind of a new creation that might be a hybrid of a business and a hobby,
right.
and and something my heart loves doing. You know what I mean? But I don't know what that is. In the same way that I've been surprised when my heart's desires have shown up, and I haven't recognized them right away. Like I haven't recognized them as oh, is that a heart's desire that showed up? Wow, I didn't even recognize it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And the same thing's true about this new thing. It's not a business, but it's something like that. It's a way of getting into a value, a giving, receiving value cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Like and it's not even really an exchange. It's a dynamic.
Hmm.
You know, it's a give and receive dynamic that's not an exchange. Because the thing is, an exchange goes from one hand to the other, and there's a change in ownership, so to speak, right? But this new dynamic, this giving receiving dynamic, it doesn't have any ownership in it. So what does that look like?
Yeah.
So how would you help serve someone to find their heart's desire? How could you?
By doing the 14 days challenge.
There you go, Pascal. Yeah.
Well, 21 days.
Good.
No.
21. You're going to learn some techniques. You're going to learn how to do that. And oh, wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
How to help people find that. You bet.
By experiencing it like on myself first, right? Be the guinea pig.
That's right.
Yep.
Only
That's how this group started.
Because like there's a saying that like, do what you love and you're never going to work one day of your life. And like I mentioned, you know, I kind of found it, but at the same time, I'm like, well, is that it? Just that, you know? Because like I don't feel like I'm working.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the next one, then, is it fulfilling?
Well, not the work, but what I do with it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And everything's the timing. And here, like I'll answer the question because it's wrapped into what we were discussing, like what was missing from that program. And when I saw it, when I observed it, I thought it was beautiful. And I think it's, you know, but it's when people speak. It's when people speak their own choices out loud, when they do it under pressure, when they do it when they're uncomfortable, when they do it when they don't want to. Because you see what happens in that program. What's everyone doing it? They're doing it in their own head.
Yeah.
They're doing it in their own silence, being led by someone. So a teacher is leading the students through it, who's sitting there speaking his choices out loud, right? Resonating with them, seeing how they're doing it, and in a way leading it for others, but so they take it on as theirs. And then they'll pull in people, right? Like you, Pascal, they'll pull you out, and you'll get the truth with it because you're in the moment, under the pressure, under the duress, under the situation. And what you're doing is you are forced to speak it out loud so that when it comes out, you're measuring it, you're assessing it, you're looking at it and saying, is that aligned with my truth? And then you modify it. Thump, thump, thump. You turn the dial. And it's just not a one time, a blah, 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 blah. It's like a practice. It's a practice. It's a practice. It's a practice. And it's constantly rechanging. Then it's like, clunk, you got one that locks in. It locks in for a while, and knowing that it'll change again, and maybe it'll stay there forever.
You know, there's nothing in lenses that talks about taking the time to find your truth.
Well,
you know, it's just about kind of making a to-do list is basically
Yeah, yeah. Well, they give you land of plenty, right? They give you these meditations, right, to do it. But the premise is, well, the premise is more about, and which is true, is more about doing the practice every day.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's good. Yeah, no, like that's where we're going, right? Like experience learning. And you're learning when you do it, not just when you listen to it.
And that was what this, like for me, is a way of generating lenses every day.
Yeah.
And has it modified, strayed from, moved away, in and out of? Yes. There's always like, we get in habits, we get in patterns. So that's what, and then it's like on one-on-one is really easy to hear, right? One-on-one where people's choices are. And I think when we, as a group, we come together and we share our choices, others can hear it in others too, so that not only can they begin to hear the differences from others, then that helps them hear their differences. Now, in differences, what I mean by is the true desire that's in the heart, and then the true desire that's spoken. There's a wobble between the two.
Yeah.
And when you hear people speak what is true from their heart and you hear that alignment, then we begin to see, it's like then we can fine tune our own. And all it is putting attention on, did that really come from peace, power, passion, and purpose, or did it come from somewhere else?
Right.
And if only one person is talking, the one person is getting that benefit. Or robbing it of everyone else's.
Yeah, nobody else is getting that benefit. Yeah.
So who ends up on top? That's why those types of programs, really only one person, it works for one person because they make sure they do it.
Yeah, and this is that model of a mastermind that Napoleon Hill gave us. It's not where you have a guru and a bunch of followers that are paying $100,000 a piece to be in your group. But it's about getting together to combine your genius. And freely giving your genius.
Did he ever explain it, design it, like in a book, Craig, that you're aware of?
It was described. It described how he did it in Think and Grow Rich, and I'm pretty sure it's been in other ones too. But it really surprises me these days that nobody's following that model.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how I did it. I mean, I've been running masterminds since the mid '80s probably, And yeah, it was always kind of more of a peer come together and, you know, and let's create something new kind of a thing. You know, yeah. You know, and I was usually the initiator of those. So I, you know, in the first place, I would bring stuff in, but it was all that spirit of sharing and combining and co-creating and collaborating. You know, I don't know if he's actually said it or actually written this, but I'm pretty sure that Napoleon Hill was very aware that all of the stuff he wrote about was channeled, like it was brought in. He was hearing the other side speaking to him. But in our society today, we tend to get caught up in the information and forget about the real power was in the method that Napoleon Hill used to gather all the material that he gathered and to combine it in new ways and to
have a step-by-step process, right?
well, yeah, but the interesting thing is a lot of this stuff isn't really step-by-step process either. It's you know, it's combining and going for it. Like it's, you know, it's kind of like what we do here every morning. It's like we never set out really an agenda for this. I mean, but we've been open to a higher agenda, and that's, you know, and when you're open to that, it shows up. You know, because we're not just a group of people that are sharing with each other. I mean, we're sharing with the whole cosmos right now. You know, we're diving into the field and you know, and co-creating with the field and with cosmic intelligence, and, you know, and participating in the overall design of things. We've discovered that if you're in openness and receptivity and stillness, that the truth reveals herself. Value reveals herself. Life reveals itself. And it's curious to me that it hasn't occurred by us being in busyness.
Productivity.
Yeah. And that whole thing. It's not, yeah, it's turned out that the real gold has not come from performance or productivity or busyness. It's come from stillness and cooperation and you know, and co-creation and participation.
Okay. Come.
You know, I find myself in spaces like this. I pause for laughter much more often than I used to, you know. Pause for enjoyment. Pause for pleasure. Because it's there, all that stuff is there, and it just keeps coming. And finally, the pace, my own pace has slowed down to the point where I can notice it and recognize it for what it actually is. And the way I was living before, I was missing all of that. I was missing all the blessings that were flying right in front of my nose.
Yeah, because your awareness expanded.
Right, exactly. And my attention is fine-tuning itself. It's kind of like a muscle. Attention is like a muscle. One of the things I did when I was in really deep pain was I tried to do activities that would deflect or distract my attention from the intensity of the pain. And I'm noticing that I don't need to do that so much anymore. In fact, I'm regaining agency over my attention. Like a good example of that is I haven't watched news on TV for months. And so my attention muscle hasn't gone to that. So instead I pay attention to what life has given me in the moment.
Yeah, it's called pay attention for a reason.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's interesting, we're kind of gravitating away from that wording of it as well. Like Jesse suggested a few days ago, it's like giving attention might be more accurate.
Yeah.
You know, what do I give my attention to? Because it's choice, and it's not like a price that's paid or that it costs anything.
Well, it costs your energy.
Well, yeah. Well, it can, depending on what you
Right.
put your attention on, right?
Yeah, yeah, it really depends. Like, if what you're paying attention drain your bank account.
Yeah. So there's a lenses choice for you. I choose to give attention to blank today.
Hmm.
That would be a very fruitful choice, I think. I choose to give attention to my heart today. The gift of attention. Wow.
Yeah, you were talking about pause,
Yeah.
pausing, right?
Yeah.
And Rod, yeah, I built an app. I can't quite remember like the name. I can try to find out, but yeah, it's exactly that. Say every hour or whatever you want to set it up, you take 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you want to pause.
Yep.
Because maybe it's hard for most people to just do it on their own, but if they have like a notification on their phone, they're like, oh, okay, I need to pause.
Yep. Yep.
You know, maybe it's easier to be accountable for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a very fruitful practice.
Yeah.
Eventually you won't need the alarm. You know, you get in the habit of pausing. You know, we've been doing that in here too. Like every once in a while we'll pause and we'll honor what just showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Or we'll honor what somebody just said, or we'll honor an experience someone shared or whatever. Like stop and look at it, stop and honor it. Honor its value. You know, I'm seeing that we're kind of doing that by leaving a pause between what we say, and by allowing that pause to be there, even if it's a long one. I think everybody's doing that. Everybody's honoring what just came out, what just came up. That's the energy I feel anyway.
Yeah.
There's a huge amount of nonverbal communication that goes on in these sessions. Interesting thing is whenever I've gone back and watched and listened to the videos, I feel the same thing over again that I felt in the original experience.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. It's like those recordings are infused with the energy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're there because we were present in them. And I know that's the case, but I wonder from someone that's watching that wasn't. I think it would be, I know it would be there too. It just depends on whether the person is open for it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, communication, a lot of it depends on receptivity,
Mhm.
you know, like whether things land or not. Depends on if that person or that ground is ready to receive what's come to it.
And our expectation, our expecting mind could easily look at that and say there's nothing in that silence.
Right.
Silence, like where I sat, silence is a waste of our time.
Mhm. Yep.
Someone
popular
needs to
opinion.
someone needs to be filling the air.
Yep.
As if that is important the more we say.
Yep. Yeah, in the media industry, they call that dead air.
Mhm.
And what's interesting is we've been mining the gold out of the dead air
Mhm.
that everybody's shirking off, right? It's that in-between space.
Mhm.
That air is not so dead after all, is it? So we're accustomed to receiving our information and our news and even things like movies and stuff like that with all the air, with all the dead air filled up. We're accustomed to that. And we're accustomed to communicating that way too. like I mentioned a few times in the last couple of weeks, I've even noticed that I'm watching movies differently. And even though like a storyline goes through and it's, like especially something like a movie, it has to have a pace and all that kind of stuff. What I've noticed is I've become good at isolating certain things or certain concepts or ideas or phrases, even while the movie's going on. I'll just get this hit. Oh, that one I want to write down, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Did Pascal have to go?
I don't know.
Yeah, we're just checking for a note from him.
I didn't see
Could be out
that.
of range or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can probably tell that this whole nonverbal side of things is really fascinating me right now. Like just getting in and sensing the energy. Listening to the music. Hearing the music. Being the music.
Yeah. Energetic attention.
Yeah, exactly. And I mentioned this before, but I'll insert it here too while we're on the subject, is I'm starting to realize that my whole body is a sensory antenna for energy, for the energy that's going on. And I started to notice it, and I make a practice of paying attention to it and responding to it. And riding the waves that are out there and occurring all the time. Like being a permanent surfer dude. So this afternoon sometime, I don't know exactly when, but Venus is going to be directly in front of the sun from our vantage point here on Earth. It's called a Venus star point. And there's one of those that happened on my birthday, on the day I was born, which is kind of interesting. So I feel that energy kind of naturally. I'm familiar with that energy. Because I felt it when I came out of my mother. Yeah, and there's a new moon coming pretty quick too. So new moon and new Venus. New being a significant word. So that's my word for today. New, N-E-W. There's a phrase in scripture that goes like this: behold, all things have become new.
I choose to expand and appreciate new. I choose to expand and appreciate the new, anew, renew.
Mm.
I choose to appreciate the renew. As I say that, I can feel it's almost like a dizzy, it's like a wobble, right? It's like a swirl of energy.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like touching all that matters, all that's important, all that's connected to that choice. It's like giving it energy, it's giving it permission, like duck, duck, goose. It's like, okay, here you go, you have permission.
Yeah, yeah.
Shining light on, giving attention on expansion, growth. Releasing, renewing.
Yeah, thank you for expanding that. I'm really sensing the power of new right now. As if it has a life of its own. Mm. Yeah, it has an attraction. New has attraction. Beckoning. Inviting. How many sleeps till Christmas? That kind of thing. Mm. Hmm. Oh, taste and see. Come and have a taste. Come and taste what's new. Mm. Could I have a lick? Just one lick. It's incremental. Hmm. Mm.
Powerful morning.
Yeah.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you, Jesse.
Have a
Awesome
great
space
day.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah, you too. Big
Until
love,
next
brother.
time. Big love, brother.